Hey everybody, Erica Heron here. Today I want to talk about bedtime routines for kids that are a little bit older. So a bedtime routine is something that you hear talked about frequently for toddlers and babies, but it's actually a great practice to keep around even as your child gets older. It's actually great to have a bedtime routine if you're an adult too, but I'm not going to go into that today. So there are multiple reasons why it's beneficial to keep a bedtime routine even past the toddler years. First of all, kids these days, which makes me sound old, I realize, kids these days though are chronically sleep deprived. I will actually include a link that talks about just how much sleep kids need, because it's a little bit shocking for a lot of parents to find out that the amount of sleep their kid is probably getting is not as much as they need to be getting, especially as kids get older and they have activities and school and other things that just interfere with getting to bed at a good time or sleeping till a decent time. But parental involvement and a predictable schedule can be a big part of making sure that kids are getting enough sleep. And there are many reasons why it's important for kids to get enough sleep, which I won't go into today either, but a simple Google search can tell you what some of the side effects of not getting enough sleep are for children. The second reason why a bedtime routine is really useful for older kids is that it includes a set time in the day for parents to bond with their kids and for kids to open up about their day. So when kids are getting a little bit older, they're getting more verbal too, but they're not always willing to share that information with you. And a bedtime routine, when you're quieting down for the night, can be a really good time in which your kid feels comfortable opening up and shares a little bit more about their day. So in the older years, a bedtime routine will also actually help your child fall asleep more easily. And that is beneficial for kids that aren't getting enough sleep, but you definitely do have a lot more flexibility in the order of your bedtime routine as compared to when your child is a toddler or when your child is a baby. And so that's really nice because, kind of like I mentioned earlier, sometimes things can switch up as they need to. While your child might always need to brush their teeth, sometimes the time that you're reading a book might change to, just talking for a while during that time. So a sample bedtime routine for older kids doesn't necessarily have to look a whole lot different than little kids. You might not be changing the diaper, and there are some other things that older kids might be doing that you'll want to have them stop early on or even before the bedtime routine. So a sample bedtime routine for older kids might include turning electronics off an hour before bed, having an established time during or at which you turn off electronics every day or turn in cell phones to parents for the day can really help eliminate the struggle that often comes along with these type of activities. And while it might be tough to implement that as a new thing, once they understand that that's just the way it is, it'll be really beneficial. Not to mention that turning off those electronics early on in the night will help them sleep better and fall asleep more quickly, for the same reasons that we always hear why that blue light, especially that close handheld light, is not good for our sleep as adults. The second step in a bedtime routine for older kids might still be brushing teeth. This in pajamas might be independent at this point, but dentists actually recommend brushing your children's teeth for them until about at least age 7. So this might still be something that's good to have you involved in so that their teeth are actually getting clean. So pajamas can be next. Reading a book again, and or talk time, and then lights out. So in the very beginning is still a great time to have a bath if that is the time that works best for your family, the beginning of the bedtime routine. And it's still a good idea for any bedtime routine to be moving from more active to least active and moving from away from the bed to closer to the bed. These things are a little less important than they are with a toddler, but it's still helpful in helping your child fall asleep and getting as much sleep as they possibly can in the time that they have available. So overall, having a bedtime routine and a pretty strict bedtime, even in the older years, is going to help your child be a better sleeper and function better during the day, at school, behaviorally, all those things. And keeping a bedtime routine will maintain that quality time for you at a time when peers start to take a more prominent role in your child's life. And it will help you end the day on a more positive note as a parent. You know, as parents, our days are full of ups and downs. And if you can have a nice routine that always ends with you and your child of any age sharing, you know, a close moment, I think that that is a win. So hope this is helpful. Please post below in the comments if you have any questions about bedtime routines for older kids. And I would love to hear if any of you start implementing a bedtime routine for your slightly older kids and how it goes. Thanks.